Sayori and Natsuki seem to have finished. Sayori heads over to Yuri, leaving me with Natsuki. Here. She hands me her poem. I take it and hand her mine. And I'm sorry I've been snapping at you. Was that an apology? It's okay. We're all on edge right now. Yeah. Well, whatever. Let's just read. Why I like the robins. Do you know why I like robins? Or any other bird for that matter? Because they can fly way up high. They're not stuck on the ground, where they might end up dirty, because they can fly way up high. If it's cold, they can go somewhere else, and they can seek shelter and be warm, because they can fly way up high. And they can make a home up there, and only come down when they want to. They can be safe wherever they are, because they can fly way up high. I think I like the robins because I'd like to be a robin. I'd like to fly away from all the problems, to see the world from a different side. But I can't get away like a robin can, because I can't fly way up high. It's nice, Natsuki. Even with everything that's happening, it still sounds just like you. If you say it's cute, I'm gonna smack you again. Okay, well, what if I say it's refreshing? Fine. Yours was okay. It was weird and abstract, but the emotions were there. I was just trying to get what I'm feeling out, you know? Yeah, me too. It seems like it's about wanting to escape your problems. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want that? Especially with whatever's happening now. I wouldn't mind being able to escape. With that, Natsuki heads off over to Yuri. Now it's just me and Sayori left. I know everyone thought this was a dumb idea, but I really think it wasn't. Everyone needs a chance to cool off before we confront this.
Sarah, it seems like only Natsuki thought this was a dumb idea.
No, you're right. This actually helped me think about everything for a bit. I'm glad. Unpuzzle me. The world is like a puzzle to me. It's complicated and jumbled, and it doesn't always make sense. But when the pieces come together, if only for a moment, it makes a beautiful image. Like a printing or a picture, but it's more satisfying because you solved it yourself. All those different parts, all the confusion and all the struggle are worded in this single moment. Except when I'm the puzzle, and I am the puzzle, the pieces are still there. I can feel or move them around. Sometimes they even fall into place. At least a few of them do. But the pieces always fall apart eventually. And the image never comes together. It did for a minute, and it felt really nice. It was calm, and the world was right. But looking at it now, the image was ugly. I know I didn't solve it, because I'm still a puzzle. I can solve the puzzles around me, but that's not a problem. But who will solve me? What do you think? It was good, Sayori. Sad, but good. This isn't exactly a happy situation. Believe me, I know. Everyone's poems were that way, more or less. Here, see for yourself.
Well, didn't they already, share with her?
I hand her my poem. Sayori reads it for way longer than seems necessary. Her face is very hard to read. She kind of looks confused. Finally, she looks up at me with a sad smile. Sayori, are you okay? You look concerned or confused. Oh no, I'm fine. Your poem was great, Monica. Thank you, Sayori. It was good for me to write it, I think. Her expression hasn't changed. What is with her? Okay, everyone. Hey, that's my line. I know that probably seems silly, but I hope everyone feels a little bit better now. It was refreshing, Sayori. It felt nice to get my thoughts out. Yeah, I guess I'm a little less pissed at you guys right now. I'll take it. But I think that means it's time to talk about what's happening. Wait, now? We're doing this now? Sayori? Monica, we have to. She gives me a serious look. We have to. I hope you'll do it with me. I guess we're doing this now, then. Time to make a decision, Monica. All right, let's get this over with. Thank you, Monica. She turns to look at Natsuki and Yuri. You guys might want to sit back down. Sayori looks at me. I take a deep breath and begin.
Abrupt end of music. Oh, and abrupt start of other music.
I guess I should start, since it all starts with me. Yuri leans forward a bit, listening intently. Natsuki just stares at me. I take a deep breath. I'm about to sound like a crazy person. None of this is real.
What?
Monica, what do you mean? This seems like an odd time for philosophy. That's not what I mean. I mean it literally. None of this, none of us, are real. They're looking at me like I'm crazy.
What on earth are you talking about?
Just wait. It gets worse. None of this is real because it's all a game. Not some kind of metaphor. Life is a big game, a type of game. A literal game. Specifically, a dating simulator. Yeah, everything around us, even each one of us, is all just computer code. Yuri perks up and looks at me. I've heard of this before. It's a philosophical idea that the world could just be a computer simulation, but we can't tell. A sufficiently complex simulation would be indistinguishable from reality. But Monica, it's just philosophy. It's not known, and I think you're taking it a bit seriously. Yuri, that's what I'm saying. This isn't philosophy. It's the truth. Don't you think it's odd that literally all four of us fell in love with Hallie? And what do you really remember about your childhoods? Or even what you did when you got home after class?
I know exactly what I did. I read my manga. I did my homework. My dad would come home from the store every evening at the same exact time.
Okay, and what were those assignments? What manga did you read?
Parfait Girls.
And any others?
Of course. Of course I read other manga. Of course I do. I read...
She trails off. See what I mean? The only detail any of us have are what the game needed, specifically what the player would see. Anything else is just a vague idea.
How do you guys know?
Sayori and I glance at each other.
Because we've both been the president of the literature club.
But that makes no sense. And Sayori, when have you ever been president? Do Natsuki and Yuri not remember? That's gonna be hard to explain. Actually, I think we can gloss over that. Going into detail would just make this even worse. This is where we stop knowing anything else. Whoever becomes president, somehow they're cursed, and I really mean cursed, to know the truth about our reality. It happened to me, and I couldn't handle it. So I removed myself from the game, and when I did that, Sayori became president. She also couldn't handle it. I shake my head. I don't think anyone can. So I did the only thing I could think of. I tried to delete the game, so no one would have to go through that kind of hell.
You what?
You tried to delete it.
So let me get this straight. You think this whole world is a game that we're stuck in, and you tried to delete it?
Yes, I did.
Wouldn't that, I don't know, kill us?
Natsuki, you don't know what it's like. There was no other option. Someone has to be president. The game won't allow it to be any other way. I couldn't let any of you be stuck in that kind of nightmare.
So killing us is better?
Natsuki, please calm down.
Why?
Because if what Monica says is true, then what she's describing isn't murder, but an act of mercy. H.P. Lovecraft was particularly fond of this kind of thing. A human gets exposed to horrific knowledge that they cannot possibly comprehend, and it destroys them or drives them mad. It's a common theme in horror, and there's a reason for that. Natsuki doesn't look convinced at all, but she stops yelling. Yuri takes a deep breath. Sayori, could you confirm what Monica is saying?
She's telling the truth, you guys.
Yuri takes another deep breath. And the current state of things is because of that. Something went wrong when I tried to delete it all. The code of the game is still functional, sort of, but it's damaged. We're here and what's left. I see. Well, thank you for being honest with us. If you don't mind, I need a moment to think. Yuri walks off a little bit, then stops. She stands there looking lost in thought. Sherry and I turn to Natsuki, who's looking straight at us. Her face is a mix of anger and confusion.
You guys are serious, aren't you?
We nod.
I'm sorry, Natsuki. I wish it weren't true, but it is.
So, everything about me is fake then? My poems, my baking, my dad, everything he's done. It's all just part of some game. For someone's amusement?
All her sadness is immediately replaced by an even more intense anger than before.
So all the shit I've had to go through? All the hungry nights? All the discouragement, the judgment, the hateful remarks he's given me? All of that was just to entertain somebody? To make me more, realistic?
pure venom drips off of her words.
And you're telling me it could have been different? I could have been popular like you, Monica, or happy like Sayori. Oh, you don't know half of it, Natsuki. But no! Some asshole decided to torture me just to entertain people!
Sayori has gone silent. I don't think she knows what to say. Neither do I. Natsuki keeps ranting. She's becoming more and more angry and less coherent. Eventually, Sayori tries to speak up.
Natsuki!
No! I don't want to hear it!
At this point, Natsuki starts to break down into tears.
Please just leave me alone.
Sayori gives a quiet nod and walks off. I'm not sure what else to do, so I walk off to join Sayori. Approaching from behind, I can see her shoulders shaking. It looks like she's crying too. Sayori?
Was this the right idea?
What?
Telling them about everything? I was so sure that we needed to tell them, but now, seeing their reactions, especially Natsuki, I don't know anymore.
Ignorance is bliss, they say.
Yeah, that. I just really hope I didn't make it worse.
That was never going to go well. Honestly, I think it could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, they'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
I hope so.
As Sayori sits on the ground, I don't know what else I can say to her, so I decide to find a spot to sit as well. At this point, we're all sitting several feet away from each other. Nobody's talking. Sayori still looks scared. Natsuki still looks furious. And Yuri still has that same inscrutable look on her face. May as well try to get some rest.
I guess I need some rest too.
I find myself drifting off to sleep. It's been a couple of days since we told Natsuki and Yuri. We haven't really talked about it again.
How do you gauge the passage of time in this situation? I'm sorry.
We haven't talked very much at all, actually. Everyone's been quiet, even Sayori. We spent the first few hours in total silence. Sayori and I kept to ourselves to give the others time to process things. Eventually, we decided to try and find our way back to the game's world, but no matter how far we walked, we couldn't find anything. This void seems to stretch on forever. Eventually, Sayori and I came to the idea that we weren't in the game world at all anymore. Maybe we had left that part of the game entirely. We've spent most of the day today trying to figure out how to remedy that. We alternate which one of us is using the console at any given time so as not to overload it. And we don't spend much time using it so we don't hurt ourselves. We haven't made a ton of progress, but I'm trying to stay optimistic. I can't help but notice that Natsuki and Yuri are still keeping to themselves through all of this. They must feel pretty useless right now. Sayori tried asking them what they think, to get them involved a little bit. Yuri tried to weigh in, but she wasn't much help. The thought was there, though. Natsuki, on the other hand, barely acknowledged her. She's been practically silent ever since her breakdown. I can handle Natsuki raging. That's nothing new. But seeing her reduced to silence like this, that's kind of terrifying. Right now, Sayori is off by herself, trying to dig through the code. Natsuki and Yuri are sitting together, but they aren't really talking. Yuri looks like she's writing again. Natsuki is still just sitting there, absent-mindedly running her hands through the fog. After a few more minutes, Sayori stands up and walks over to me.
I think I'm taking a break, Monica. I'm starting to feel really weak again.
I'm not surprised. You've been at it for a while.
Yeah, I guess so.
She glances over at Natsuki and Yuri.
You think they're okay?
I think they will be eventually. Sayori gives another sad smile. At this point, it could practically be her trademark.
Well, anyways, I'm done in the console for now, so it should be okay if you want to give it a try.
Maybe in a bit. I'm kind of taking a second right now.
That's okay, take your time.
Sayori sits down next to me.
This is pretty crazy, isn't it?
That's one word for it.
I keep thinking about the last thing I said to him. I told him he'd be mine forever.
We've got that in common, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
She lets out a small chuckle.
You know, I spent so much time feeling alone, like no one would ever get it. I knew I had people around me. I even knew they cared about me, but I just wouldn't hear it. It was fake, you know? That's what I told myself, that anything they'd say would just be empty words. If they knew the real me, they'd understand why I hated myself so much. I'm sorry, Sayori. I really am.
It's not your fault.
It kind of is, though. I made it worse.
Yeah, you did. And when I first came back, I was furious at you. I think I actually hated you. And I'm still angry, and I'm still hurt. It's going to take a really long time for that to go away. It might never go away, truth be told.
You are way too happy telling this. I haven't really said it so far, but like, it seems like some of these conversations aren't like fully fleshed out with expressions yet, because there are times where they just stick with the same face for so long, so many dialogue boxes. I'm just like,
But I've had some time to think about everything, and I realized something surprising.
She turns to face me.
Right now, you're the only one here who would actually understand me. About what we've done, about what we know, about what's happening. I should hate you. Part of me wants to hate you, but right now I can't. Because you're the only other person who's been through it. I'm not saying I've forgiven you yet, but I am saying that eventually I think I can.
I didn't expect to hear that, or to ever hear that. For now, it's enough. Thank you, Sayori. Really, I don't deserve it.
Nope, but neither do I. And yet here we are.
She gives me a small smile. We spend the next few minutes sitting in silence.
Well, we should probably go join the others.
She gets up and starts walking off. As I watch her walk off, I find myself going over everything we just talked about. I hope everything can work out in the end. It might be nice to have a second chance, but what does that even mean? Natsuki and Yuria might know the truth now, but they still aren't like Sayori and I. They aren't real in the same way, although I'm starting to wonder what that means too. And Sayori might be more like me now, but that's a whole separate can of worms. She might have said she'll be able to forgive me eventually, but I'm not sure I believe that. I don't know if I'd forgive me. I have a lot to think about going forward, that's for sure. Oh, I guess it's my turn to take in the console again. Maybe I'll be able to find us a way back this time. Gotta try to stay optimistic, right? I dig back into the code. I mess around for over an hour and don't find anything new. The static I've been feeling in the code is getting worse. It's hard to navigate. I'm about to give up again when I feel something I haven't felt since we left the game world. Is that the file for the school? It is! I start digging further. Everything's kind of fragmented, but I'm finally starting to make progress for the first time. What is
goodness, this sentence. Let's take it from the top.
Everything's kind of fragmented, but I'm finally starting to make progress for the first time in what has to have been days. There's the club room and the classroom, the neighborhood, and... Wait, where's Hallie's house? And Sayori's? I think I see the files, but why are they so small? Has something happened? There's something going on, and I need to find out what. I want to load the scene now, but what if I go alone and something breaks and I can't get back? The others could be stranded here. And even if that doesn't happen, it might not look great for me to just vanish like that. But what if things break further while I'm convincing the others and I can't find the files anymore? What should I do?
That's quite a conundrum. Oh boy. I think we should tell the others first.
It would look too bad if I went off by myself right now. I should bring the others along with me. I walk over to where they're all sitting.
How did it go, Monica?
Well, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is, I think I finally found our way out. I found the scene files.
Really? That's amazing!
So you're saying we can get out of here?
That would be nice. Yeah, that's the good news. The bad news is, I think something's going on. I'm afraid things may be getting worse.
Of course they are.
What do you mean?
The files are way smaller than they should be. I'm afraid that with the script broken, well, the game is deleted. It just hasn't fully happened yet. Is that possible? At this point, I have no idea what's possible.
Great. So you're saying we're doomed?
No, I'm saying we need to go and see for ourselves what's happening.
What's the point? This is all some game anyways, right? There's a million more of us out there. Who cares what happens to this one?
Well, I do. There may be a million of me, but I'm not them. I'm myself, and I'd rather not be deleted if I can help it.
It's not fun.
How do you know?
I mean, well, why would it be? It's basically dying, right? That's not fun for anyone.
Right. Well, look, guys, if we check this out, maybe we can figure out what's happening and put a stop to it. If there's a chance we can put things back to normal, it seems like we have to take it.
I completely agree.
If you guys think it'll help.
All right, guys, let's go. Sayori and I start concentrating as hard as we can. It's agonizing, but we managed to get through it. We're in front of Hallie's house. I hear the girls react to what they're seeing. Oh my goodness.
What the hell is wrong with everything?
Monica, is that Hallie's house?
Yeah. When I found the files, I saw that some of them had gotten way too small, like data was being removed from them. Monica? Yeah? I am now completely convinced that the two of you aren't crazy. There's an eye missing from convinced. Oh God. Several whinings, I guess.
This is really happening.
Monica, which other files were like this?
Well, pretty much anything that is in the school is getting like this. Sayori waits for a second, then sprints off towards her house. Sayori!
What is she doing?
Should we go after her? I'll go get her. I don't know how dangerous these damaged files could be. If it breaks completely, I don't want us all in there if that happens. You two go to the school. We'll meet you there. Are you sure? I am. Okay, we'll see you at the school then.
You guys better not die.
I sprint off towards Sayori's house.